Hi! Recently I've posted a video on my channel with Once Upon a Time theme from Undertale game. Let's imagine that you have a fairy tale in your mind too, and you want to compose some music for it. Maybe not for the whole fairy tale, but for the first words in it. Once upon a time. I suggest you to follow the way the composer and creator of Undertale, Toby Fox, did. Even if I am mistaken, we'll get acquainted with an approach in creating music for specific tasks. Let's think of it as we guide our fantasy in desired direction. Let's start. Fairy tale, the world of childness. What's different from adult world? Maybe it has its own boundlessness, strangeness. It's been explored by a man who tries something for the first time. So if we are gonna write some fairy tale music, let it sound somehow unexpectedly. The most people living nowadays will consider the most familiar music the one that is written in Western European composition techniques. I hear three aspects that make Once Upon a Time sound not like the music we used to listen to. But before we continue, put this video on pause and ask yourself what's typical for the melodies we used to listen to. Firstly, they are easy to sing. But which melodies are? The ones that we can reproduce without significant efforts. In case of Once Upon a Time, we have an octave jump in melody, C, C. And the problem isn't even that it's hard to sing accurately, but that both notes should be located within your comfortable vocal range. Speaking about myself, I'd say I can conveniently sing within the range of an octave and a half. That means that not every pair of notes which have an octave between them are easy for me to sing. And Once Upon a Time is that way. But let's remember that we are in a fairy tale. Let these notes to be as stars, one on your palm and one in a distant space. The second point. Modern European music made us accustomed that among all notes in our melody there'll be the main one. It's called tonic. Tonic is the note upon which all other notes are referenced. Yes, there are some pieces where tonic is absent at all or maybe changing, but if we're talking about common melodies, there is such a note. Let's suggest now where the tonic could be found. Usually, it's on the beginning of our melody, twinkle, twinkle, little star, or in the end of our melody. Oh, what fun it is to ride in one horse open sleigh. But in the first phrase, or Once Upon a Time, the tonic could be found in unusual position. The original key is F major, and tonic, F note, is located in the middle of the first phrase. Dum, 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 dum. The phrase itself starts and ends with fifth degree of a scale. All in all, it makes us feel uncertain. You may say that in the end of the part we are reaching the tonic, note F, but in the bass voice we have a G, which makes a minor seventh between those two notes. And it's a dissonant. By the way, the other pieces from Undertale that use the same theme as Once Upon a Time have a different note sounding with the tonic. The third aspect. Let's think about repetitiveness in typical for our culture melodies. Don't you agree that there are not so many melodies with no repeats at all? Usually we have melodies that share the same beginning but differ their endings. That's why in musical notation we have such sign as alternative ending but don't have alternative beginning. But what about Undertale? Well, the beginning of first motive is like the end of a second one. It's like we have a mirror inside a phrase. Dum, bum, 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 bum. You can even emphasize this while playing. Don't you agree that this sounds much more unexpectedly than no repeat at all? It's like a ball that doesn't know how it should jump. So that's how we 3 times have broken our idea of how the music should sound like, as it to sound like in the fairy tale. And I share what I feel while I'm playing or listening to Once Upon a Time from Undertale. See you.